are catalogued into subject areas, and it is customizable to set up your own subject areas or to add pictures in, which we'll cover through later. But at this stage, let's choose mathematics, let's choose something on measurement, and let's just choose a tape measure and bring it in. Obviously, once you bring an object in, it is subject to the same object conditions as the text and the lines and anything else we drew. It's resizable, able to be rotated around, able to be moved, order is able to be changed, lots of different things are possible. That one is just a bit difficult because it is against the background. Let me grab the handle here and it can just turn it around for you. Very, very easy. It is also very easy to fill any of the shapes that you have already got. The beaker I have here, for example, let's just fill it in by drawing a line. So we will have a line. Oh, let's choose our line shape again, down to here. Let's choose our line thickness as a nice small line, and let's go back. We'll just draw a line, the level of our water, and then we want to choose a fill with a fill colour something similar to water. Let's choose a blue, and my next page is just some of the things about the images and the gallery. And I've made a few points here. The images can be filled as I've demonstrated before. All or selected pages can be printed, which is another great advantage. At any stage, when you have a printer configured, it is a matter of going File, then up to your print. You can set yourself up a printer, but if we go to the print function, you will see that I have a choice on the number of pages that I want to put on a sheet of paper. So for a presenter wanting to give 4 or 6 or 1 or however many pages you like of the screen to somebody as a set of handouts, it is very configurable and very, very easy to be able to give somebody your notes just as a piece of paper. The other thing about your images and the way they work to the usual standards about grouping and ordering layers. What I've done here is I've set up something, I'll just unlock it for a moment, where I have grouped together both a line of text and a page. And I'll demonstrate that by showing you that if I don't group together, like for example, if I fill some of these in red, and now try to move the page around, you will see they have not been grouped together. The other thing that you can see is on anything that you select, you can change the order. So if we go to layer, let's put that on the bottom layer. You can easily change the layer, and just going down to here again. Okay, all right. Down here, because it's nice and small, let's go to layer and send that to the bottom layer. When we send it to the bottom layer, now as we drag over, it's no longer visible. The next page that I've got here in my presentation talks about the language support that comes in the IP board. The IP board comes standard in 11 different languages, and there is language support for various different aspects of it. You can enter text in directly into those languages, which is a great advantage. Just demonstrating here the Chinese language support, but there is support for other sorts of languages. The next page, which I'll go to here, just navigating, talks about handwriting recognition. And it is very, very easy for you to be able to recognise in different languages. So just turning on our handwriting recognition for a moment. We have a toolbar down here that gives us some information about the handwriting recognition, and what we can choose is a number of different options. At the moment, I'm going to go for linked English. By choosing linked English, I can write something up. And very quickly, it's able to recognise the text. My next page demonstrates some of the other optional features, not optional features, but the extended features of the IP board software. In particular, a big advantage is the ability to be able to show the same screen for the IP board on multiple IP boards throughout your organisation. An example of this is where 2 teachers are delivering a similar lesson. What you are able to do is configure a network exchange of the boards by creating hosts, setting up hosts, giving them IP addresses. What you can then do is you can connect a host. You can connect between two different boards, and those boards will share the same screens within the classroom. So it's entirely possible for the same thing to appear upon two teachers' boards, and also from control to go between a master board and a clone board or a slave board and switch back again very, very easily. The next thing that I've put on the list here is about the soft keyboard and the calculator, which I demonstrated in an earlier lesson, but just very quickly going through again. A teacher at any stage has very quick access to a soft keyboard if they need to type anything within a lesson. It's very easy to bring up, very easy to move around, and very easy to work with. Also, a maths teacher who is very interested in being able to show somebody a maths example can very quickly access the calculator and bring that up onto the screen. Very simple, very quick ideas for getting back and switching between parts of your lesson. The next feature is the move page feature. If you've been using the IP board for a while and people are starting to sort of wane a bit on attention and you want to move the board around just to get people's attention back again, it's very easy to grab the whole board and move it around rather than elements. And you'll notice if I don't have that switched on, I move an element rather than the whole board. The next power feature is the magnify tool, which is a very, very powerful tool. This one here is fantastic if you are looking at fine detail of charts, diagrams, maps, or anything where you want to zoom in on a section. Just by selecting the magnifying glass, you can draw out a section of the IP board screen. You can hit the plus button to bring up a magnified section of the screen. Now by moving it across the screen, you can focus on sections and bring them into highlight. It is a great way of getting students or getting your audience to just focus on one section of a complex diagram very, very quickly. The next thing that is quite useful for a presenter is the ability to show part of the screen at once. Say, for example, you have some text that you have prepared and you only want to reveal part of it to your audience. It is very, very quick and easy to be able to select the screen shade and to bring parts of your screen down. And the screen shade is entirely configurable. So it can go from left to right, or from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, or whichever way you want to reveal. In a similar sense, we have a tool called the searchlight tool. The searchlight tool, which is configurable for size, just clicking down here, we can make it bigger or smaller. It is very easy to, again, highlight parts of a diagram or parts of the screen to show people just a section of your diagram. Very powerful indeed. The other tool is the screen capture. You can use the little camera icon up the top here to very, very quickly move into a section that will allow you to capture parts or all of the screen. And as I mouse across here, you can see I can capture a section that I highlight myself, capture the full screen, or I capture one of the objects on the screen. So let's just go and capture a full screen, see how that goes. You'll see that that has been done. I can now see the captured screen has been inserted into another screen in the IP board software. However, if my intention was more to save it as a document and post it to somebody, it is very quick to be able to just assign a file name. Let me just quickly, again, bring up we can now save it. Now, that has been saved, and we can see that it's very quick to bring up the image of the IP board software, which has been captured just as a JPEG onto the desktop of the computer. Returning back to our software again, after having a look at that desktop capture, you can see, if we just go to the next page, all right, we'll return back to our pages again. We were on the power tools. I think we've covered off most of them now, except for the bottom one, which deals with playback. And to show you and demonstrate the playback, I'm just going to insert a new page. And what I'm going